Anyway, here we are, Mad Madam Mims. Cameras are weird again. Okay, so it is late, getting later into the evening, as our group has split up in various different ways. We have Iskrin, who is currently off gambling away hard-earned treasure and losing badly. Cindy got sort of left on the dance floor. We'll be checking in with her a little bit later. Kel has basically stalked off after having an encounter with some of the local druids. Iska has, at this point, is either finishing up her encore or will be finishing up soon, where she is going to head back to the wagon and get some rest, because after many sleepless, rough days, her performance was a bit refreshing for her to get back to feeling like her old self, as well as her interactions with Lux and the others. And Axel has already headed back as well to the wagon, as he has much work to do. But we're going to start off with our friend Luna, who has just met quite a few members of the Genasi, an earthen Genasi who tried to sort of pick her up at the bar.
Bow chicka bow wow.
Bow chicka wow wow. And then moved along. Invited her to come back and meet some of the others who apparently are here. We last saw her ducking through a side tent flap out of the Leaping Lion Inn, following this Genasi, and immediately bumping into a female fire Genasi, a young water Genasi, and two air Genasis. The Earth Genasi and Luna, they cross behind the tents of Mad Madam Mims, sort of off the main way. This would be sort of considered almost like a backstage area as they head down the roads, and sort of come to a little enclave. Logs and makeshift tables, along with several small hardtop wagons, have sort of been circled around this area to sort of make a sanctuary from sort of the boisterous now sounds and lights and just frenetic energy that is Mad Madam Mims. And as you look around, lounging on these wagons and tables and close to the fire, you see probably 24, maybe more, children of the lost, of most every type. The two air Genasi sort of wander off. As soon as you arrive, Genasi along, sort of leave you over to a couple of empty logs by the fire. What are you up to, Luna, as this happens?
Seeing that many Genasi in one place, she's sort of taken aback for a moment. So if she's still like kind of following, but she's kind of dumbstruck a little bit.
You get a closer look at this, at all of them, really. I mean, you notice only a couple fire Genasi, it seems, as they sort of stand out a little bit with their glowing hair, but seem to be many water and earth Genasi, and a fair number of air Genasi as well. Are we buffering terribly?
Audio just goes out every once in a while. We're roboting occasionally, but we're still there. Video and audio are working.
Okay. I'm also recording it, so what I will be doing if it gets untenable, folks, is we are just going to release today's episode on video on demand. Hopefully the recording is going, because my OBS recording working, so we'll see. Um, so as you sort of look around, dumbstruck, the music of the fairground sort of fading into the background. I mean, they're still there. You get a little closer look at this fire genasi with the long hair. She's probably just slightly younger than you. Quite attractive, actually. Her golden skin pretty much glows in this firelight, and her hair isn't flaming kind of like Gandry's was. It's more just this color of sort of well-tended cooking coals. You're kind of used to Luck when he banks his fire. You just sort of get this deep red glow with just sort of more the waves of heat off of it, almost as it looks, than necessarily flames itself. She gives you a friendly smile, but you can tell there's sort of a guarded coldness about it. And she asks, "So you're from the West?"
And Luna actually, kind of pulled her foot back finally. Yes. Born and raised. You are all from the East?
Most all of us are. A few in our last trip here joined up then, but they were quite young. This was 14 years ago when we were last in the West. But for the most part, we've lived in the East long enough. We consider ourselves Easterners. Well, I'm Cecilia, and she nudges the Earth Genasi. Blockhead here is Isaac.
Isaac, Cecilia. It is very nice to meet you. I've never seen so many alive in one place.
Well, we do have the protection of Mim, and we all have found our purpose here. You hear another voice chime up. I'm Mavis. It's the young water genasi. Probably only a bit over 15. Kind of looks like he's all elbows and ankles right now. Mm-hmm. His clothes has obviously been modified sort of to keep up with whatever growth spurt he might have recently gone through. So are you headed to Sojourn's Landing too? Crossing?
No. Landing's where it's at, yo.
39 episodes.
It's back.
It's back. How long has it been since you've said that word?
No. Me and my companions are headed through the vice.
You see Isaac and Cecilia sort of shoot each other a look. Isaac sort of chimes in. So can you tell us about the West? It's been 14 years since we've been here, and no one talks about it. Is it still the same?
Are we still persecuted? Yes, but I have not seen a mass open a grave in a number of years. In fact, I know we are still hunted. To an extent, we are still hunted. And she's looking pointedly at Avis. Beware the Temple of Purity. Be on guard at all times. You do not want them to capture you.
Well, they're still around over in the East as well, but they don't have much power anymore. There's rumors that they still lure, I guess I should say, people away. But the roads are fairly safe in the East.
It is possible to be taken in a town as well. There is a fire genasi by the name of Gandry, who's in Sojourn's Crossing now, who we rescued from them.
Interesting. They both sort of, they hear rescue. What do you mean rescue?
He was, as I said, he was a fire genasi, and he was kept in a water coffin for days on end.
You see Cecilia just shudder at that thought. They sort of look at each other kind of pointedly again, but kind of lips tightly. They kind of almost look like they're biting their tongues.
What is it?
You're going through the vice.
Yes.
So he sort of seems to take a different tact. So they must be paying you quite a bit to be a water genasi to taking them through the vice. A child of water to take them through the vice.
Is there a particular danger to water genasi?
Oh, no, I was, like I said, paying you to take them.
I am not their guide. I am not being paid at all.
They look at each other again. Come with us. And they stand up and lead you away from the fire. Do you go with
I
them?
follow. I kind of throw a look over my shoulder at Isaac, but I follow.
You sort of walk a little bit away from the campfire, but not too far. But there's one wagon that seems to be a little bit set apart, seems to be a little bit nicer. And you see sitting on the back of this wagon obviously he's put together some crates and different sheepskins and things and sort of made quite a nice seat for himself. Mm-hmm. You see a garishly dressed, olive-skinned man with dark hair and a meticulously groomed beard that sits in a narrow line just above his jaw, riding up to his sideburns. As you approach, at first glance, you think that the beard is maybe going to gray, which really surprises because you've never seen an old or older, child of the lost genasi before. But as you approach, you realize that the color is actually sort of seems like it's crashing and receding, almost like a wave on a shore, sort of flowing down through the beard and then back up. The hair that you had thought at first approach was black is actually sort of like a really deep water green. And even though he's not as old as you originally expected, he is as old as you've met, a little bit older, and kind of seems to hold quite a bit of respect with this group.
He's who I have to fight for leadership. I challenge you.
He sort of, as he stands up, his sort of golden robes swirl around him a bit, sleeves flowing to the movements of his grandiose gestures as he speaks. You hear hundreds of small little trinkets and baubles chime with his every movement, giving sort of this chaotic musical accompaniment to his voice. Newcomer! I am Vincente Covinelli from the wondrous city of Torvolia. Welcome to our little home. May the hospitality of the children of Mim be yours on this night. I can tell from your expression that you're not familiar with the children of men or even Torvolia, the sunrise city on Glasswater Bay. Wine, food, art, culture. It is a marvelous place full of trade and intrigue, politics, and mystery. The virgin port, untouched, but always defiled. Torvolia, my home. The heart and soul of the East. Have you never heard of my home at all? So few travel these days. It's a shame. Well, you must visit some point. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But no, tell me why you are here. Why do you come see Vincente if it's not to hear the tales of Torvolia?
She's gonna look at the other two. Like, why am I in front of Vincente?
He sort of looks to the two of them, and they're kind of biting their lip. You are headed through the vice. And you have never done, Templar Warden, thanks, pro streaming. The good, the pie, and the ugly stream. Healing die for everyone will need the rest of my swear jar. So healing die for everyone. Woo!
I'll take it.
I can see you've never done this before, gone through the vice, or heard of people going through the vice. Certainly not people like us. They want to assist you, perhaps, my compatriots here. But I'm sorry. That is not something we're able to do freely. You see, we are all indebted to Mim. He looks pointedly at Isaac and Cecilia. And we do not share her secrets. That is only for her to do. But enough of that. The sky is clear, the night is beautiful, the food is spicy, and so is the company. Join us for the evening.
Looks very, very confused. What would the information cost?
Oh, this is not about money. It is about trust.
Looking him square in the eye. There is little I would not do for my people.
I'm sure. This is not something that I doubt of you at all. We would all do much for our people. But again, it is not my information to give.
Would I need to ask the madam herself?
That would be a start, but first you must get an audience with her. And, well, an Earth child of water certainly would have some extra pull. Obviously, one trained, as I can see you are, by your movements and equipment. It is not a given that she will see.
What would give me the best probability of that?
Having some wine and drink with your new friend Vincente, so he may put in a good word for you after he chats with you a bit. See what your motivations and motives might be.
I do not mind sharing drink, but I prefer not to drink alcohol.
Oh, that is fine. And he conjures water as well. It is what's something I prefer as well, in between my alcohol.
Then let us converse.
Very
and
good.
Be merry. She struggles over that word.
So at this point, Isaac, because he's not the brightest bulb. So yeah, she's got some kind of a deal going on with the Arcana Mystica.
I'm gonna kill him.
Oh, really? The Arcana Mystica. What business do you have with them?
Someone I consider family has business with them, and I task myself with my family's protection.
Protecting one's family, that is always a nice thing. I protect my family as well. So what news? What news of everything that is happening here in the West? Anything we should know about?
And she'll relay all the dangers regarding the Temple of Purity.
Ah, yes. They have been a problem since even last when I was here, when Vincente last visited, but we do not, at least I do not underestimate them. My compatriots here, they have never been truly alone and without sight of the protection of Mim, so they do not understand that they are quite formidable indeed.
It may be useful for you to know that you and everyone else here may be approached by the Arcana Mystica at some point.
That is interesting. Arcana Mystica and Mim seem to have a stalemate, shall we say, over their differences in opinion on magic.
Over magic, yes, but the Genasi, as is is a term I've learned that I feel appropriate for our people. Our plight is useful to them. I know it is different in the East, but in the West, our situation is useful.
Genasi. That sounds like a tiefling word from the infernal language, yes?
You know much.
I get around.
But I thought it fair you should know.
Very interesting. So, the Arcana Mystica, new interest in the Genasi. What has changed for their opinion of us?
I believe that they are preparing to make the tiefling's life even harder than it is before. They apparently have information that erases or lessens their guilt of the vice instead of creation. This does not benefit the Arcana Mystica, and our plight will serve as a good cover for that.
Interesting. Our plight seems to be improving, though, as it is. It's a natural progression. We will be.
A natural progression may take a century, and we will no longer be born.
Well, of course not. But why does this concern the Arcana Mystica?
It doesn't. But again, it is useful in enduring people's anger and pity.
So, what is their new pity weapon that they are trying to use?
Because the tieflings were at least partial, because of the tieflings' partial involvement in the creation of the vice and the creation of and the propagation of the Genasi and our status as infernal, not infertile.
Haha. So the Arcana Mystica has decided to finally agree with what every brothel in the East has known for over a decade. It's not an affliction, it is a feature for the most cases.
I suppose in that line of work it would be.
Yes. It is, makes some of our brethren very popular, shall we say. The courtesans of Torvolia. There is no higher status than to be able to afford, and he looks over at Isaac, someone who is rock hard all the time.
For some of us who did not know this news was not welcome.
Oh,
It
I'm
is
sorry.
fact. There is nothing to apologize for.
As I said, there are many of us who have grown our whole lives knowing that this was the case. He looks around. After all, we are a group of performers on the road for many, many years at a time. I think that we probably knew long before the Arcana Mystica could have possibly known that pretty much, there is not a chance in any combination. Nisori gives a little bit of a smarmy smile.
But, as I said, this information is not known in the West. They mostly killed us.
Yes, well, they killed everyone everywhere during the culling. But the world changes. I was quite lucky. I was born in Torvolia, and my father was a member of the Waning Crescent, a ruling group there. And being so close to the sea, and I think because my, as the Temple of Purity would say, affliction is so minor in comparison. Luckily, the midwives and my family took me as a boon for the family. Some say I'm the oldest. I don't know that for a case. I have not met any older. Seems like
the
you.
oldest I have met.
It seems like you are a survivor as well.
More than anything.
Well, to that then. And he raises his glass and grabs her plates of food and
Luna will actually, like just form some water in glass shape. So.
yeah. And unless there's something specific more you want to ask, we'll just say conversation sort of moves to small talk at that point.
Sure.
If you've got stuff to ask, that's fine. You've got them. You've got an audience, and
I guess a conversation will go for a while, and eventually Luna, because assuming that Cecilia and Alice and Isaac are kind of there, whatever.
Yeah.
At some point is going to turn over to Isaac. You have indicated interest. I now indicate mine. Do you have a private space?
And he sort of smiles, kind of totally unexpecting it, and goes, "Yeah, I do. My bunk's right back over here."
And she'll nodding to Vicente. I will chat with you later.
Oh, finding love, it is a wonderful thing.
She'll raise an eyebrow at that.
Or lust, at least.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. And you guys head off over to things. Just because I'm going to probably cut to the next morning. Is there anything specific I need to know? Do I have to deal with a dead Isaac?
No.
Okay, just checking. So then, yes, we will leave. Give this.
Black Widow, baby.
Go on.
So no, I was gonna just check in because
No.
the camera pans up to the moon and
We all know the story of the birds and the bubbles. We know.
yes.
Talk about high tide.
High tide. Well, because Isaac, man, he is rock hard.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah,
Earth
no, cut to
Genasi,
somebody
Earth
else.
Genasi.
Wow.
Woohoo. Anyway, yes. So
The Vice is
Yuck.
canceled.
yeah.
We're done here. JJP, close the stream.
Yeah. Just go ahead. Shut it down. Just shut it down.
No, don't say that. That might actually happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. No. Don't even say it. So we'll pan over to Luck. He has had a wonderful, fun evening around some old adventures. Stories have been told, drinks have been drunk, money has been thrown. And it's gotten late now. It's gotten late into the night. Iska's, set is long over. It's we're now into sort of the drunken entertainers and the last of the story people, and people sort of go their own ways, and you head out as well out of the Leaping Lion trying to head back towards your wagon. And there are not many people around, but you do hear a familiar sound, brought you pleasure and joy ever since you were a young boy, because there's many little troops, traveling troops of entertainers like this that go around. You hear a barrel organ playing for a hand puppet show. And you quickly find this stage and see just exactly what you were expecting. Two silly hand puppets with bats, each hitting each other over the head, sort of Punch and Junie style. This one you find particularly amusing because the two fighting, it's a member of the Arcana Mystica in their fancy robes and a member of the Temple of Purity, and they are just beating the crap out of each other. They're swatting and batting at each other, throwing expletives. I mean, even would make you blush with Luck. They are so just crude and rude and wonderful. And finally, you see sort of this short little puppet in red and black robes and a fancy big hat steps out and boots both of them in the ass and sends them on their way. And the small figure takes a bow. This new puppet that's in her makes a bow. The next act is this just beautiful, crafted marionette. It has so many joints, and the complexity is just overwhelming to you, Luck. You've never seen anything like it. Probably more than 24 strings extend off of its limbs, each and every one of the joints articulated.
The puppeteer, while visible above the stage, his skill is so masterful and the movements of the marionette are so entrancing that he seems to fade out, leaving all focus on the marionette. The performance is remarkable. A dizzying, complex dance that seems impossible to not have tangled all the strings.
And then the marionette takes a bow and pulls out a violin and begins to play. And after a few moments, Luck, you begin to recognize the song. This is one of Iska's songs. In fact, it's one that you've just heard recently.
A song played in front of a dragon skull. The height of a desperate battle. You try to look away, fearful, because you know what's next. A green cloud explodes, filling the stage and obscuring the marionette. When it clears, it's not the marionette any longer. It's a corpse. It's Iska's corpse. The strings are no longer just tied off to each joint, but they're attached by red-hot hooks searing into the flesh around them. The smell fills your nostrils. You expect the corpse to fall, as you remember Iska did, but it doesn't. It keeps dancing. The strings not allowing it to rest. The head lolls to one side, eyes covered in cataracts from the acid burns that you remember so well. They seem to look at you pleadingly, desperate for release, but the dance continues. The skin now melting further away from you, the acid that you know killed her.
You finally tear your eyes away, angrily looking up at the puppeteer, questioning what kind of sick horror he is playing at. You're met with a sickening grin, lips pulled away from pointy teeth, eyes glowing yellow, as your own face stares back at you. And in that instant, you are now the puppeteer, and you are maneuvering Iska's corpse around the stage. Locke, I need you to make a sanity check. Good to know.
I don't feel like I succeeded. I don't feel
It's a
like
real one.
I don't feel like I succeeded.
You black out. Give me a second.
Tension is high.
I need you to roll me a d20, please.
I don't want it anymore.
8. Good to know.
Did I pass? I don't know.
You don't know. You don't even know if it was a real check.
I don't know anything.
Sure do.
No, nothing.
So, the camera now switches over to Axel,
Yay!
back at the wagon.
So,
So tell me about what you're doing back at the wagon. You had a couple different things you were wanting to do.
yeah, so...
Oh, actually, 1 second. So, Luck, you did learn your new blood curse.
Oh,
The curse of the fallen puppet.
no! I was wondering how you was going to implement that.
You sick people.
Griffin!
So, Axel, you were like, I don't have any ideas how I'm going to do this. Oh, don't worry. I can help.
Perfect. So Axel returns back to the cart. He left just before, I think he left just before Iskrin disappeared off. And he wandered back up to the cart in thought, hops into the back, gets out all his books. He sits next to Tian. He's like, and he starts communicating mentally in Dwarven, of course. And occasionally he says a word up in Dwarven as well. Tian, what? You were the one who was in the cave with Valturian, and you saw what happened to the creatures that were feeding the guardian trees.
I saw through my connection with some of them who were close enough for me to see their thoughts. Yes.
I see. So, when did that stop? When did the connection cut off? When did they die? And what was that like?
It was different for all of them, I guess. Some was instant, it seems. Others, they rose and fell and rose again through the skies as first one limb, then another. Bleeding, but not enough to pass. Their screams in horror at their situation and the situation of those around them were deafening in my mind.
I see. But when it was over, there was nothing. You couldn't feel anything, and they were just food for the trees at that point, right? That was the case, right?
There is nothing that I can hear past death.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because death is when they die, it's no longer them, is it? But do you think, was it them when they had died and there was just a body and the power and the magic of the Fae creatures? That was the truth, right?
You're talking about souls.
Yes, souls. I know that because there's a couple of occasions where I might need to know more about this, because do you know Iska? She her soul is somewhere else. That someone took it out and put it somewhere else, and the same person has taken souls and put them in machines to bring them to life. And if I need to stop him, and if I need to save my friends, I need to protect them. I need to know how to. I need to know the best I can to stop them dying, and I need to know how it works.
There is energy that propels life, but it is the soul that makes it feel that gives it purpose. I doubt very much that your friend Iska is without her soul, for then she would just be propelled by energy. Her soul may be trapped from moving on, but without a soul, she would just be an animate body of flesh.
Yes, from what I understand, her soul is somewhere else, but it's still connected. She's still there. She's still Iska. You know, we've seen her, talk to her. It's still Iska. So, what's the difference between the energy of the body and the soul? Because I was going through Volturian's the journal, the Tome of the Seed, and they were talking about the seed was like the soul of the vice of the midnight wield, and they said it was part of the soul was in the seed, and that's why it's so important. How is that the same?
The seed has no soul currently. It is primal energy. It is unguided. It is the life of the wield, but it is not the spirit or soul of it. It is without guidance now. That is what the Indigo Seed, the group, was attempting to do. Protect it and guide it until the time of its birth came.
And this is the power of an entire. This is the magic of an entire forest,
Yes.
or most of it. I see, and okay, and of course, it's very powerful. And imagine what makes is primal energy any different to the magic I use, or the magic Iska uses?
There are many flavors of magic and energy in this world. All tap from different places. It is hard to quantify what the seed holds within it. But it is, as you say, the power of an entire forest of tens of thousands of living things, perhaps hundreds of thousands.
And it's who wouldn't want that? That's a lot of power. You can do a lot with that. I can maybe that's what the Arcana Mystic is after, but it's primal energy. It makes me think of the beginning, the first energy, the cores, the earth, water, fire, and all these things. Is that right? Because I was talking to someone, to the dragon, and they said that it's quite possible that the device caused the existence of the Genasi. I'm wondering, maybe there's a way to work with that as well, and no. Oh, that's later. I need to know more about how things work without and with their soul, and then maybe I can find out more about this energy. Can you? I'm scared. I when I was younger, I ran into some undead, and it scared me. And I wanted. And recently, I've been seeing the visions of death, and I hand it out so easily. I can kill really well, but I want to fix things as well. And I'm really scared with what I'm going to do. So can you keep me company?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, thank you. He just leans over and hugs the pot plant.
Uh,
And he pulls out his rune book, and he's got the index now, and he settles down, and he looks for the death rune to study more as he talks it out with Tian, as he notes down everything he can remember about his experiences using it, bringing in his knowledge of the blood rune as well, and a couple of the other things, and
okay.
he's going to be studying that for a long while.
Okay. So, as you study the death rune, you're not sure if you've fallen asleep or almost get into like a trance state, and you are trying to make these connections, trying to open your mind to this. And you start reliving the memory of Moss Hollow. You find yourself sitting back at the desk. In front of the window, pondering over the writings of Marat. You relive the frustrations of delving into those cryptic writings. And you look up to see the children just as you saw them before, jumping rope, oblivious of what's to come. That same ghostly image of the revelation appears in the window next to your own reflection once again. And then the screaming starts just as before, as you feel yourself being lifted from your desk, floating towards the ceiling once again. But it's almost as though your memory freezes in this moment. And as you look out the window this time, amongst the floating bodies, you see almost 5 foot long, shadowy, winged serpent, a snake with wings. It's opaque, but seems insubstantial, almost like ink in water. It hovers over one of the children as they begin to float into the sky. And there's almost a single graceful flap of its black wings. And the child lifts its chin to the serpent as it coils in front of her face. And she takes a shuddering breath. And the serpent's fluid, oily form dives into her nose and mouth, and then emerges through her chest like a shadow, leaving no damage, but it has stolen any spark of life that was within her.
No.
The serpent, you see, glides from child to child, and person to person, leaving lifeless forms in its wake. You then start to float higher again to the ceiling, the vision reasserting itself. You starting to scratch into the ceiling with a nail, and then stopping, then starting again, then trying to hide your work, until finally, just as before, the cloaked figure walks in and yanks you and throws you outside. And as you float up, you look around and you know this isn't the same as the vision you had before, even what really happened. This serpent that now is still making its way around the city, around the town, the settlement. has intruded upon your memory, and it glides over to you. It glides and coils around your neck in an almost gentle caress. It seems like an introduction. And then with a single flap of its wings, it takes the life you were inhabiting as well. And then you find yourself back in the wagon, staring down at the death rune, still not comprehending it entirely, but you have touched upon something.
Tian dreamed until they were torn to pieces. This is different. This was.
Open your mind for me, if you will. Do me an intelligence saving throw.
I take a saving.
Nat 1. It scares you too much to be able to open your mind to Tian, to be able to try to help you through this. Let people know that we're going to just release this on video, on VOD. Hopefully it's recording right there. We'll see.
I don't. I wanted you here to help me, but I'm sorry. I think
Fear is a powerful thing.
I want to
Soon.
stop it. I don't want to be scared, but I can't. Yeah. Axel's crying a little bit. He's curled up sort of into himself a little bit, and his tail is flickering back and forth, very agitated. He sort of curls up, that curls up just scared.
Do not take lightly his warnings of how these paths can mark you and change you.
Okay. I see. He goes, gets his paper and he starts just writing down some things. But if the paths and the choices I make mark me, but a piece of paper and a spell on a piece of paper is just a spell on a piece of paper. The knowledge is important and powerful, but it's not me. And he will brainstorm out his 2 spells for his level up. So he will brainstorm out Animate Dead and Vampiric Touch.
Okay.
Working on that lichness.
Who did?
Yep. And so he spends however long it needs for him to put the pieces together to effectively create from what little he knows of death magic from these spells.
It's interesting as you do that. Out of the corner of your eye, sort of guiding your mind, you seem to have it in the periphery of your vision, a black, oily serpent showing you the way.
No!
He reaches out first to one side. Gonry's just sort of sat on the side of the cart, picks up little Gonry, just holds him close.
Do you look through Gonry's eyes?
Unless he's prompted, no. He's using
Okay.
Gonry as sort of an anchor of sorts.
Okay.
And then he's just going to keep a touch of feeling the warmth of the lizard's body and the heartbeat. And he's just going to use that as sort of anchor.
Okay.
Just like, this is what he wants to preserve. He wants to preserve life. He doesn't want to embrace death. He wants to preserve the life and soul. But he will take the guidance of the serpent as he works on this.
Okay. Cool.
And yep.
We'll move on from our buddy Axel.
Should we, at the halfway point here, take the break?
Yeah, let's go and take the break and see what we
maybe
can do.
try your channel.
Yeah, let me give it a try. I'm not hopeful.
Not at all.
Just keep going.
Okay. So, yeah, we will figure out some way how to piece together a video on demand for all you guys. So quick question, Kyle, are you able to tell in your OBS whether you're broadcasting the music from Roll20?
No idea.
I went to listen. Yes, he is.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
How are we
We
all
know.
for audio as well? That's a good.
Well, we can ask chat as well.
Chat. How are we for audio?
Yeah, is there music coming through? Are you hearing all the people's voices, all that good kind of stuff? Okay, if you can hear music, then that's good, because I assume that's the only music that we would have going on.
All right.
Thank you guys for your patience. I can
We
assure
love you
you that
all.
no one is more frustrated than me.
Us all put together.
Well, all of us, I'm sure, are as frustrated as I am. But me the most.
My own.
Okay.
Anyway, while Axel works on the death rune and his new death-oriented spells, Celia,
Good Guy and Kyle are very quiet to chat to the stream.
Sorry, that's because I was far away from my mic.
okay.
Me too.
So, Celia, you got left on the dance floor. Are you? What are your late night activities, or are you just kind of heading back to the caravan?
I'm going to
Head back to the wagon. I mean,
yeah, I'll head back to the wagon.
if you got something that you want to take care of that can't be taken care of tomorrow, but I figure we're going to be in the caravan, out shopping tomorrow as well. Things are starting to close up. If you're looking for shopping, or do you have someone you want to talk to or try to track down?
Yeah, I will. I'll wait until tomorrow and.
Okay.
Eventually.
Ishkan tries to find you on the dance floor, but there's just no one there.
Yep.
He goes back to the dance floor and he's just like, "Aw,
Oh.
little
Yeah,
disheartened."
show off all the great shopping that you've done, or the great gambling that you've done.
Dead, Eladrin. Dead.
So, Luna,
Yeah.
are you going back to finding your way back to the wagon late in the evening, or are you staying with
Luna's
Isaac?
gonna be real busy all night. Moving on.
The conversation's that good?
Shadow puppets. Really excellent shadow puppets.
So we'll say everyone, it's getting late, and everyone sort of head back to camp back to the wagon to sort of rest up for the evening. Evening does pass uneventfully. Luna, do you head back for breakfast or no?
I will head back for breakfast because I didn't tell anybody where I was going, and I don't want them to worry too much.
To panic out. So as we know from a couple weeks ago, we know that Iska, I need to turn that down. We know that Iska got up early in the day in order to go and to the sound of gunshots. She seemed, anyone who happened to wake up and see her or see her on her way out. Maybe Kel, because Kel would have been up doing his foraging and heading back on his scavenge, would have seen that she seemed to have a very determined stride, and you let her go her own way. And I assume you do your normal foraging and stuff to get some things for our for breakfast, Kel, Danny. If you can do me a survival check, let's see what you find.
Oh god, I'm totally unprepared. I haven't opened my character sheet yet.
Oh, come on, man.
It's
okay. I was going to say.
I haven't been involved in anything.
That's true. It's true.
Survival.
23, yeah, you're able to find, a nice rabbit or two that you're able to quickly sort of run down and catch, some nice berries, all sorts of good things to hand over. It's you guys sort of all come awake after a late night of various activities. So let's see how everyone's feeling first. If I can get everyone to do a Constitution saving throw and then an Intelligence saving throw.
Oh, boy.
I'm good.
He can hold us.
A lot of us aren't doing great.
Yeah. I'm not so hot. Yeah.
You left it on the dance floor last night.
I have had an invigorating night. I'm fine.
Apparently, after everything I've been through, I feel fine. I lie. I'm lying. I'm lying to you guys. I'm going to be honest.
I guess. Luck. You're actually feeling pretty good.
Oh no, what have I done?
Luck. You're actually feeling pretty good.
Yay.
You dispelled that weird vision that you had with the puppets from your mind, and you find sort of solace in this routine of making breakfast for everyone. You see all of your friends and companions sit around you enjoying this meal that you've made them, and you just kind of smile to yourself, and you notice first, Celia, there's a weird sort of crunching noise coming from Celia. And you see as suddenly her cheekbone erupts out of her face. You see Iska, her rib cage the bones start to expand like your bone shield, and they start to rip through the skin. You see, let's see, who else is doing here? All of your friends. Iskrin, his arm starts to become deformed and malformed. Kel, his back bends over backwards as the bones enlarge and deform and start to rip through your skin, and you look down at the pot you've made of the breakfast that you've made. You gave all of them your mutagen instead of breakfast. You have poisoned all of your friends. For those of you who saved, take 19 points of damage. Those who failed take 39 points of slashing damage as your bones begin to erupt out of your skin, as Luck has poisoned you with his mutagen. Is everyone up?
I'm still up.
I'm down. Iska's down. Iska's down.
I have 4 hit points.
-1.
4 hit points.
Anyone
I'm
else?
still up.
I'm up.
I'm up.
Kyle, you're muted.
Luck, you look around at your friends. What do you do? Iska, I need you to make a death saving throw.
No.
You hear Iska gurgling, blood gurgling out from her. Anyone else? What are you doing as you look around the
I'd be
campsite?
running over to Iska. Absolutely.
Axel is hitting straight for Iska to stop her from to save
Iska,
her.
heal up.
With
Whatever.
the way I'm deformed, can I even move?
You are twisted, but you could crawl.
It's probably painful, but
Luck, what are you doing? Your friends are injured terribly.
Is
Blood
Gren
is
up?
spreading across.
Ishkrin is
The
real
campsite.
good.
Is Axel up?
Axel's all right. Yeah, he saved. So I think so. He's pretty.
Um,
So it was a
Silly-
14. I don't think anyone. It was pretty obvious who saved and who didn't. I believe
Who was down? Sorry.
only
Iska.
Iska was down.
Iska.
Luck, what are you doing?
He wishes for
I-
some healing potions.
I'm gonna cast a Cure Wounds on myself.
Luck's
Axel
trying.
is,
Kel's trying to heal himself after this has happened.
Axel is gonna.
That was for
I guess-
Iska.
He,
Ishkrin teleports over to Luck straight into his face. Grabs him by the throat.
Iskrin, I'm not sure if you know where this is coming from. Well, do me an intelligence check to see if you make the
okay.
connection.
I rolled an intelligence of 23 before, I believe.
I mean, we can
Yeah.
probably.
No.
get
I
him
need you a new
Oh.
one.
food, but
All right.
14. You're not sure, but Luck's the only person who seems unaffected by this.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Looking around, looking at the food, and just seeing Luck while the rest of us are bleeding out. Just not looking too good. I just looking and just like, what have you done? What have you done?
No, I didn't mean to. No, this is some mistake. No, what's happening? What's happening?
Everyone, you see Luck jump up and start going, no, what's happening? What's happening? I didn't mean to. Just bursts out of nowhere, leaping up from his seat.
Luck, look at all this gold I've got. Look at all this. We can get heaps of stuff with this currency.
I need you to make a sanity check, Luck.
Celia, look at all the coins I got.
Celia will look at Ishgrin.
shiny.
Don't see the two swords.
And just sigh.
Nope.
That's great, Iskrin. That's good.
Luck, are you okay? Did you have a bad dream or something? Are you okay?
Yeah, a bad dream. That's what it was.
Did you get a good? I mean, we all woke up now, and you sort of just don't really want to fall asleep while cooking. You might burn yourself, right?
Yeah. That's right. Cooking. Yeah, that's what I was doing. As like you sort of see him, even though like it's sort of boiling and like it's probably really hot now, he still sort of tastes the sort of broth that he's making right now, or tastes the food, even though it's like quite hot. He does it so absentmindedly that he like puts his hand sort of onto the like hot pan, and you sort of see it burn him a little as you could sort of, as he's almost sort of in this daze, sort of picks up the food, tastes it, as you can see sort of parts of his hand are now being burnt and stuff as he's trying. Looks like he's 1,000 miles away.
I rush over to Luck and get him to let go of the pot to stop. And I mean, is he gripping it too tightly to let go, or?
Yeah, it looks like he's actually holding it sort of almost protectively.
It's like, Luck, let go of the pot, let go. And I put out my hand and I cure wounds, cast cure wounds on him to heal his burn.
Thank you.
I probably overdo it, but
Yeah.
deliberately.
Thank you, Gil. Thank you very much. Sorry, I was daydreaming a little.
It didn't seem like a dream to me. What? Are you okay? What happened?
Old memories catching up. Things being awkward. Old man time catching up. It's so good.
Are you going to be okay?
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just failing off. Is all. Might be a bit under the weather.
I kind of glance around and catch everyone's eyes just with a concerned look, but don't really say anything further. And turn back to Luck and say, okay, just try and take it easy today. The stress of our journey, I think, has taken a toll on all of us. A lot has happened in the last month.
Definitely. I think some good rest is what you can help yourself to.
Perhaps we should wait an extra day here before we press on. Do you think?
Maybe not. We've got quite a bit to do still.
I know, but perhaps we should take an extra day for rest here.
So are we talking to everybody, or are you just talking to Luck right now?
Well, I mean, everybody's there, so they're hearing me say it.
Actually, Iska's not there. However, she seemed to be there in Luck's vision.
I need a little more time here.
Well, then it's settled. We'll stay here an extra day at least.
Yeah, we do have to can't stay too long because the fight will close eventually.
I know, but
Yeah.
one day extra. One day more.
The reason I need more time pertains to our vice journey.
I'm gonna go for a walk. Yeah, clear my head up.
But take Green and then Gonry with you, and then the lizard sort of crawls up your leg onto your shoulder. Just and if anything, we're here to take care of each other. We're family, we're a tribe, and just tell Gonry, and Gonry can kind of tell me if there's a problem. I can find out. Yeah, is that good?
Okay. Come on, Gwen, let's go. As he sort of picks up Gwen and sort of puts him in his pouch and begins to sort of just, again, sort of that mindless wandering sort of towards the sort of main area of the tent and stuff.
Okay.
As Luck walks away, I turn to Axel and go over to him and say, I think that's the first time I've heard you say that we're a tribe. And coming from you, that means a lot.
Well,
And I don't let him speak. I just give him a quick hug. And then I walk away.
you try to walk away. He hugs a bit tighter for like just a moment and then lets you go.
Hey, Kyle, it might be if you've got Zoom minimized. Do you have Zoom minimized? Or if it's not full screen on your screen, it will freeze.
You've got to like keep it up and then have it. You've got to have it on in the background.
You're muted. I don't know what he's
Yeah,
doing.
you're muted if you're asking
I
questions.
think he's talking to somebody on the phone.
Nope, I'll listen to the stream through camera.
Yeah, no, if Zoom is minimized, it will freeze it
Okay,
on
yeah,
the stream.
No. All right, so let's see if
I know you're trying your best, dude. If it's not fixable, it's not fixable.
But everybody can still hear us, correct?
I've got it maxed. I've got it maximized now. It's in full screen. True Zoom.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But sorry,
There's
everyone.
beautiful pictures of us.
Yay, lovely pictures.
Lovely pictures.
Yeah.
Speaking of lovely pictures, be sure to check out the hashtag Art of the Vice.
Yes, there is a new wonderful picture by our good friend Wow Kate. It is amazing.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
So anyway,
While that hug is happening, Luna slips away again.
Luna has slipped away. Okay. What's everyone else wanting to do with their day?
I'm gonna go over to Iskrin, grab him, and pull him to the weapons cart.
Hey, good morning. Ah!
Oh, that's right. He escaped death for now.
Oh yeah, Luna was snuck off before finding
did.
out.
Very
Yeah.
lucky.
How
Hey,
about
good
everyone
morning.
else?
Thank you.
Luck is off on a walk. Iska's off learning to shoot. What are you up to today, Axel?
Gonna begin the day, of course, by preparing some spells, and then he's going to, probably wander just into the cart area, into the fair area, looking to at least, just looking around for interesting things to see. Not going to go into the leaping lion this time, but everywhere
Okay.
else, particularly.
Yeah, there are. Do me an investigation check.
He's looking around for things, all the things. Got to open my character sheet, as usual.
Why is that doing the thing?
But, and now it's slow.
Boo.
well.
Boo.
Now getting rid. Why is it so slow? Technical issues on my end as well.
We are just plagued.
It's just because I got really crappy
It's
laptop.
been a session. It's been
That's
a
a 20.
session.
Yep.
It's a 20 on my investigation.
I agree. So yeah, on a 20, you see quite a few different things. You see a blacksmithy. Actually, you sort of see a black sort of smithing shop. It seems to be almost like two tents side by side that you see Cilia dragging Iskrin to. quite keen to your eye, you see a big cart that has just ornate patterns all over the side of it. And there's like a striped awning that leans out from it. And up there on the wagon, there are all these sort of like mini barrels and casks. And there are vials, there are tubes, there are distillation tubes, all sorts of different colors of liquids are going through and around from barrel to barrel and flask to flask. Things are bubbling. You see another cart that our friends bumped into last night, which seems to be just honeycombed with different scrolls. There's an older gentleman who seems to be working diligently to get them all organized, and there's quite a few people there who seem to be buying things. What stands out, even with all those wondrous things in your mind, though, there is a cart that is filled with books. It is a library cart.
He's happy. He seems sort of, I want to go for scrolls, I want to go there, but he pauses and sort of looks around, and Celia and Silkrin are over there somewhere. So he pauses for a moment, looks over to them, but they're busy. So he heads off to the library cart quite quickly.
And yeah, you see there is a fairly nondescript lady there, sort of salt and pepper, black hair, in a bun, probably half elf, maybe even just like quarter elf, has a little bit of elven in her, but it's not heavily prevalent. Conservatively dressed, and is sitting there, and you can see it's sort of as though this cart kind of ingeniously kind of hinges open to become just these giant sort of bookshelves that, when they're all sort of hinged together and closed up, would protect the books. But now are opened up for all the world to see. It is sort of cordoned off a little bit so that people couldn't slip in and steal books, as books are quite valuable in this world and at this time. So yeah.
He sort of wanders in. Okay. Is this a bookshop, or is this a bookshop? He's sort of asking the lady.
Yes, everything's for sale, but you all can do, if you need to do research or anything, you can get a pass to stay for the day and use the whole library. And then if you find something you need to take with you or can't quite get through, we could talk about price.
Okay. I want to come and read.
Go ahead.
I want to come and read for a day. I mean, I don't know what you have, but I mean, I haven't. It's been a long time since. It's been a month since I've seen this many books. But I don't think I've read some of them. He looks around.
Yeah, you see, there are books that are about geography, atlases. Almost seems like a lot of travel books, things that she might have picked up at the different places that this caravan is visited, talking about their local, their local history. You don't see any spell books. This is really sort of more mundane books, but different histories about different animals. But it seems, having been a part of Mad Madam Mims, what's really prevalent here is, the equivalent of medieval travel manuals, travel guides to different cities, different places, different areas around the world.
I kind of want to read some of the histories and some of the travel things, because we're going to go through the Vice, so I might want to know something about what's on the east. So, but I think we might have plans. There might be some things I need to get done first, and then I can come back and read for the day. Is that you said it was day.
Yes, it's an hourly rate. So however many hours that you have left till we close, you'll be able to pay that amount. It is, as you know, knowledge is
Yeah.
valuable.
Very much.
It is
how much
five gold an hour to read all you want.
Goes look through his coins. Okay. Well, I have some friends, and we're going to do. I think we're going to do some things, and well, I want to have as long as possible reading. So is that? I'll come back later. Is that okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
that'll be fine. And she's kind of smiles, seeing as excited as you are about the whole situation.
I'm Axel, by the way. What's your name?
Oh, Marie. You can call me Marie.
Okay, nice to meet you, Marie. I'll be back. But yeah, and he rushes off. And he goes to find Iskrin and Cilia in particular.
So yeah, you run back to this blacksmith cart, and this is the same pair of blacksmiths that you guys were at before. You can see today down in the full light of day, their sign is up above. It's called the Gilded Blade. And basically behind the counter, the same two you saw last night on the side where you had traded in your vicious blade. You see these two half elves. They are obviously brothers, both light brown hair, hazel eyes, honest faces. The older of the two sits sort of over at the jeweler's side. This is the one that Iskrin had been talking to. He's at the grinder doing sort of detail work on the ornamental pieces that you had seen the night before. Under his lightweight grinding apron, he wears well-made sort of bright green shirt, black leather breeches. He has a small silver circlet that sort of holds back his hair, well kept, but as he bends over the grinder so it doesn't actually fall down into it, so to speak. There is the younger of the two, much more practically dressed. There's a brightly glowing forge there, sort of well-muscled, younger half-elf, wears sleeveless linen shirt and sort of heavy natural leather pants underneath of this heavy blacksmith's apron. As you guys approach, you see, he's obviously, this is his working stuff. And he is, you can see there's small burn marks and little burns and smudges and soot that sort of has been ground into his outfit. This is the younger one.
On the walk over there, Ishkan tells Celia all about the fun he had last night with those strangers that that gave him all this currency, all this fun stuff, and he just says like the sword and the swords were nice, and so was the spine, but look at all these coins. It's excellent, isn't it? And there was like magic cages and animals, and this sounds amazing.
Celia will be like, yeah, they're pretty. Let me see them.
Oh no, I got the gold, and they have the swords.
Yeah, let me see the gold.
Here you go. Just pulls out like out of his belt pouch, just a small little pouch.
And I take it and I go over to the guy that Ishkrin had been talking to.
Yep, the one with the ornamental swords. Yeah.
Yep, and I place the bag on the counter, and I say, "You should be ashamed of yourself."
He looks at you questioningly, having no idea what you're talking about.
Hand the weapons over.
He still has no idea what you're talking about. This isn't who he was playing cards with. We gambled with.
I wasn't playing cards.
Yeah, no, Celia is assuming right now.
Okay. Yeah, he's still just questioning. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about.
Celia looks at Iskrin Who has your weapons?
I think his name is Gabriel. I drank all of his drink.
Celia looks at the guy, says, my apologies. Takes the gold and walks over to Iskrin. Show me to him. Now.
Shall we get there quickly or walk?
Quickly.
I grab her hand
Ship confirmed.
and we teleport. We telehop there. Onto the table.
Axel, let's see whether Axel catches you before you flit away.
I think he doesn't. He's just like
Okay,
he's
as you walk up, you just see, poof, poof, poof. Yeah, you end up glitter bombed. It takes so long to get that out of your fur, too, man.
You're gonna need another Luna power wash.
Yeah.
So as we stand on the table, I just point to Gabriel and just go, that guy.
No, when you get there, you don't see Gabriel. You do see that the area you were in last night now has is sort of has a sort of ticket booth set up. There are two of the Madame Mim's guards that are sort of stationed there, just sort of at the entrance, sort of kind of for show. And you see that people are buying entrance into the area to see the animals as you start to approach.
I turn to Celia and say, don't worry, the animals aren't real. We figured that out last night.
Celia nods and goes over to one of the workers and
step right up, come see all the exotic animals that we have here at the fair.
Was this guy playing last night?
Nope.
Celia will say, I'm looking for someone. She looks at Ishkra and says,
And he looks at you. I'm available.
Ah,
A little later
I look at
tonight
you,
over at the Leaping Lion.
she turns and looks at him. She puts her finger up, says, no. Looks back at Ishkra. Gabriel is his name, you said?
Gabriel.
Gabriel. I'm looking for Gabriel.
They're all in rehearsal in the main tent. They'll be there all afternoon.
And where's that at?
Giant tent. He kind of like, right there. When you're at Disney and someone asks where's the castle.
Celia
there.
nods, says, thank you. She heads over to the main tent.
You see a much heavier guards presence around the main tent.
Okay. She heads over to the main tent.
Okay. Just like, I mean, it's the tent flaps are closed. You do hear some music from inside, but you see actually, it's been there even through the night. There's always been a fairly heavy guard presence around the main tent, as this is where the show happens.
By the way, after I walked off,
Yep.
I want to go squirrel.
Okay.
And I want to basically shadow the carnival druids all day. And I want to watch their rehearsal, watch their show, and figure out what their act entails.
Well, okay, so if you would have gone, do an investigation check, because you don't know necessarily where they sleep, and you don't know necessarily, it's going to be an investigation whether you happen to bump into them.
No.
You did. Yep. Unfortunately, you have not found them or where they are. I mean, you see the cages. You don't see any of the druids there. If you'd like to, you can say that you overheard, because as you were trying to scout out the place, you could say that you overheard this conversation that Celia had with the guards since you were diligently tracking them.
Okay, then if you are saying that I heard that, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yep.
And so I will also go to the main tent.
Okay. So there's a squirrel nearby as you guys approach.
I'm keeping out. No, I'm keeping out of sight of them. I don't want them to see me.
Okay, you don't see a squirrel. Never mind. No, there is a squirrel. It's just it's not Cal. Totally different squirrel.
Heavy nature anchor.
Celia will walk over to one of the guards and say, I need to speak to a man named Gabriel.
Show's not till 6.
I'm not here to see the show. I'm just here to speak to Gabriel.
I can't help you with that.
I cast Fey Presence and say, please.
Seems weirdly unaffected by Fey presence.
Is he a half elf?
You can't tell with his helm.
I just looked annoyed.
I just looked annoyed.
Why can't we? I owe him. I've got his gold.
He did not steal it. He did not steal the gold.
No, we're
Your
giving him
little
the
friend
gold.
Gabriel fucking took advantage of him.
Oh, Gabriel takes advantage of many people.
That's a shameful person if he's willing to take advantage of people.
You know, if you step up to a table and want to gamble, that's, sorry that you lost, but, the cards are the cards.
No. I want to speak to Gabriel.
Can't let you in the tent. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Then go get him.
I can't go in the tent either.
Why can't you?
Stick your head in and say, Gabriel.
It's not going to happen, dear.
Can I
And
see
give me
between the
someone
flaps?
who can help me.
In the middle of rehearsal, there's no one who's going to interrupt Madam Mim.
Like, is there like a gap between the tent flaps I can see, or are they like
No,
drawn
it
over?
is drawn over and sealed tight.
When can we see her?
You can buy a ticket to the show tonight.
I'm not wasting my money on a ticket.
What's the show like? It might be
It's
good.
wondrous. I mean, it's Madam Mims. She's legend.
As a squirrel, am I able to climb up and find some sort of gap in the tent that I can get inside?
You can try.
I sense.
He didn't even say certainly.
I know. I sense.
Oh, sorry. You can certainly try.
I sense Florian's chimney all over again.
Yep.
But I'm going to, because it's Cal, I'm going to try. So what do I need to roll?
Roll me an investigation.
God, I need to just level 8 and get more fucking intelligence. No!
Yeah. It's actually probably for the best that you don't find anything to try to stick your nose into. But yeah, you don't find anything. It is a well-made tent. Very well-made tent.
It's also magic.
Does it look flammable?
You can certainly try.
I tried so hard to get us evicted from this thing.
I might try tonight during the act.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to the enclosure where the cages are.
Okay.
And you can do them for a minute and come back to me.
Okay. Axel, anything else? As they teleported away and you are covered in blue glitter, what is your next? I'll actually tell you what, we haven't. Luck, you're out on your walk. How are you doing?
Just peachy. Just, he's walking. He's kind of blanking out and sort of almost like walking into people, sort of bumping into them from time to time. He turns sort of to Grain, sort of trying to, like, he looks like he goes to say something to Grain and then sort of stops and then sort of puts his head back down, begins walking a bit more.
Yeah, Grain is there beside you and just, doing the concerned dog thing. He often will sort of jump up wanting to be held, or put up in your sort of harness, so he can be sort of right there and gives you sort of tentative looks, licks on your face as he sees that you are upset.
Is it my age? Is it my age, Grain? Is that what doing this?
He just sort of looks at you, kind of gives you the puppy look of.
That's so. Well, it's what I signed up on when I decided to go do what I did for my village. I wonder if my predecessors had to deal with such things.
He just sort of gives you a lick.
He sort of gives himself a scratch behind the ear. Let's see if we can find an interesting tent or two.
Okay. And you turn back around and start heading back to the tent. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Before we got more story stuff that we need to do, and we're going to go ahead and give a sign off. Guys, everyone out there in chat, I apologize. This, I believe, is actually on me. I installed some software last night as I was updating my drivers for my cool NVIDIA video card, and apparently it somehow interferes with OBS. And so my OBS is down, and I want to give a big thanks out to both Good Guy Pie and to Dragons Are Cats, who have, through heroic last-second efforts, have gotten us on stream at all today. In hindsight, we should have just canceled, but okay. We tried our best, guys, and we will get this all solved and resolved. You will definitely be seeing some test streams from me during the course of the week to make sure that everything is good. I actually did that last week, and then lo and behold, made the stupid move of, I'll just do the update like they say I should, and we find ourselves in this position. So we have tried to record on multiple different ways. We know that we've got some of it, at least, if not all of it. For those of you who actually, believe it or not, for probably the two big story points that occurred, you all did see, I've got them actually, if nothing else, I have them in rehearsal when I was doing DM's desk. So we do have it that way. We will try to piece together some type of a video, audio recap of everything that we've done. But until then, guys, thank you everyone who hung out with us. I know it's frustrating for you. It is horribly frustrating for us as well. And we will be sure to bring you the best that we can for next week. Let's roll around, and people want to do their outros. We'll start with Tunarth.
So I'm Tunarth in Twitch. I'm Colin65 on Twitter. I retweet this and Dungeons and Coffees tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, where we will no doubt spend most of the session bitching about today's session. And I am also, along with Energy 9, tomorrow, Sunday afternoons, 2 p.m. Eastern, on T. Fredrickson 80s channel, playing her homebrew campaign called Essela, The Power Within, where my character has just learned he's a demigod, apparently, and we're going to be... Oh, and we met Knob. we ended the
Yes,
session.
we did meet Nom.
Nom has made it to Esla and has set up a noodle cart in the Sanos, where we are actually just about to have noodles at Nom's noodle cart.
Yay!
So yeah, and that stream is also run for charity. So pop by if you feel so inclined and you have the time. It's a good group and a fun story so far. So yeah, I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. Well, not really, but I'm in places that count. So no ego there. I wonder where I'm learning it from. Anyway, that's me. Somebody else.
Hey, Tanya, if you're out there, I just saw your Twitter. I'm sorry. Yeah, we should have jumped to you. Didn't even think of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that'd have been the thing. I just opened, because I usually close my Twitter down so it doesn't distract me. But yeah, darn it. Yeah, that would have been the thing to do. Thank you, Tonya. Sorry. We should have. Pro streamers.
We're through it. We're through the worst session of the Vice. Okay.
Good guy pie. It's you.
You know what? I've had a long week, and this has just made it longer. But hey, we live, we let learn. I'm bare mentally exhausted. Even if we were having tech issues, I still got tortured. You know, no matter how
what,
much,
at least luck had. At least it was worse for luck.
Look, as we can bitch about tech issues and all the time, but as long as the tech was working when I was in pain, that's all that mattered, right, guys? Right.
Well, you know, the state of this session and the technical difficulties is a metaphor for the disorganized state of Luck's mind.
Yeah, this is all part of it. Oh my god, guys, I'm so fucking mentally exhausted.
Get your school crap out of here.
So we can actually blame this whole session on luck.
Energy
I'm a good guy, Pie.
Hey, I'm Energy9 on Twitch, where I play video games and curse a whole bunch. Energy98 on Twitter, where I do Pun of the Week, where I shoot random things, good stuff. As Two North mentioned, we're both part of T. Frederickson 80s, Esla Power Within. Links are in the chat. It's good times. I'm also part of T. Frederickson 80s Friday Night Frights game, which is at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I think this session was great. Eska got to be further into her cowgirl-esseness. Luck got tortured. Kel got not chimneyed again. Ship confirmed. And shadow puppets. And also death, because Axel is going to become a lich. I think it was a great session.
Bird versus Plane.
I'm Bird versus Plane on Twitch and on Twitter. I also think a lot of cool stuff happened this session. And my worst comments are only about the technical stuff. That's it. Yep. We bounce back. We have fun. We had fun this week. All right.
Yes, we did.
I'm looking forward to more.
You were indirectly suffering as well, which makes me happy.
Yeah, great. Every single Arcana Mystica, Souls, the puppet, just everything was just backhanded jabs at Iska. So that was a really fun session for me too.
What? That wasn't it you?
Ishkan only lost some swords. I feel like he's got it easy.
Yeah, you lost his, you're leading a soulless existence.
I'm gonna need my ring back as well, Luna.
I'm sorry, what
Tree-hugging Druid.
Hi, I'm Tree-hugging Druid. You can go follow me on Twitter. I don't really tweet a lot of things. I retweet when somebody streams on Twitch. That's about it. And on Friday, you can find me on my friend Seb09's channel for Legacy of Achian. It's loads of fun. Yesterday we found out that we're all like champions for gods. It's great.
Yay, god champions. Would you also like to speak to the manager?
I would like to speak to the freaking manager, man. But yeah, you can find me those places. I don't ever stream on Twitch. So that's that. I had fun.
Dragons and Cats. It's you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know we put you in a horrible position of, hey, how do you do this OBS thing? And
I feel like we nailed it for the audio. Hey, it was just a podcast episode, guys. It's fine. They happen. You can find me on the Twitch and on the Twitters as Dragons Are Cats, all one word. And hopefully throughout the week we can talk and also try to set up a better setting for this, as I honestly feel like it was my video settings in OBS, because frame rate's sitting real low at 30, so I think that could be an issue.
Yeah, no, it's to try to set it up on the fly is tough.
Yeah.
Last but not least, let's go to Templar Warden.
Hello, I am Templar Warden, pretty much anywhere on the internet, or Rainer Templar on Twitter. I was playing Hidden by Axel, the Tabaxi Wizard. It was an interesting session. I quite enjoyed the level up. It was better than I expected, so that was fun. It was all sorts of wonderful things going on. He's only trying to do the right thing so he knows how to deal with all this. Anyway, it was me. It's fun. He's not going to be a lich. It's not his plan.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen, but
He's going to be a lich.
it's going to happen, but it's not his plan.
It is his plan.
Axel's final
He
boss
wants to
campaign.
save the Gnassi.
Final boss.
What the
Come
hell?
on, we know you're going to set up Tune of Annihilation. Stop
He
lying.
might. He might.
So everyone, I am Tall Squall. If you are a first-time viewer, if you stopped by, please check some of our video on demand or stuff on YouTube. It usually does not go like this. Hopefully, you were able to at least experience some of our story with us today. For those of you who stuck through it, we will somehow, some way, try to piece together a coherent episode for you guys. And we'll be back next week, because at the end of the day, we're all here to tell a story, and you all should too. So gather your friends together, tell a story, because that's what really matters. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Toodaloo.
Bye.